Hello, everyone. Good morning or good evening. Hope I'm audible to all.
Yeah, good evening. So, yeah, you are audible.
Hi. So, shall we? Okay, so let's continue with our Git module now. So yesterday you were able to understand the concepts behind Git revert, Git reset, and able to work on your basic Git CLI commands to create your repositories, make some commits, log, Git config, everything, right?
Yes.
So any questions on that before we move on to the next topic?
No, I'm good.
No,
All right.
looks I have a doubt.
Yep.
This Git RMF and Git revert is almost same thing because both creates a tracking point, right?
See, Git RM,
F not hyphen
it is something used to undo the changes from your staging area.
Okay.
Correct? It is just to unstage your changes. Before creating any commit point, if your changes are just present in your staging area, in that case, you can use your git rm commands. That is just to unstage. But assume that you have performed some commit, and if you just want to undo the commit, correct?
Okay.
So commit means, you know, right? It is going to add the changes to the local repository, creates a new commit point, as well as assigns the head pointer to that particular commit point. So
Yeah.
all these three things has to be cancelled by using reset or revert option. It cannot be possible with the help of your rm command.
So what I've done is I just committed one file. Okay, I just given rm.f to delete that file. But if I get the status, it changes. It shows that the changes to be committed.
Yeah, that is what. No, like you can see, right? It is impacting the complete history there, right?
Okay. Okay. So what is the
Correct.
best practice? If you have committed now, you have to use a revert, right?
Yes,
Rather than
revert,
RM. Okay.
revert. That is what the best practice we use.
Okay.
Correct. Don't even think about reset.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Right?
If it is in the data in staging area, then only you have to
You
use
can
that RM command.
rm command. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Fine. All right. So what is git commit? What is the command?
Changes to the commute of staging area to local directory.
Okay. All right, then.
It's create a bash file, I think so.
Okay. So if you can see here, git commit -m followed by the commit message. Okay. So this commit message -m is a mandatory parameter through which you can able to define the default commit messages to your commit point. It is always recommended to use a commit message that is relevant to the release. Like yesterday in my examples and all, like if you can see my yesterday's scenario, like we have created some repositories, right? Sample repo 1 or 2. So I was creating some commits there, and I'm able to give a message. So the message, whatever we give, right, it should be relevant to the particular change. Like for example, for this particular commit, my intention is to create a file, f3.txt file. Similarly, for this commit, it is f2.txt file like this. By looking at the commit message, you should be able to clearly understand for what purpose you are making the commit. So there are some best practices to use your commit. That means the commit message should be relevant to the changes. Don't give any, message as like that. Like yesterday for the demo purpose, I use a message like CM1, CM2. Now remember, while demonstrating our revert and reset actions. So we're not supposed to use such messages. So in real-time environment, whenever you perform any changes, right, that changes will be meant for a particular release. Correct. For which release or for what purpose you are using. Let's say if I want to do some sort of enhancement or any release means there is something called project ID, or we call it as a CR number, change request number. So for any change you perform, that will be uniquely identified by the project ID or the CR number. So any new project you create, you can assign a project ID for the particular release. And for any changes you are doing with the existing project, you can assign a CR number. So based upon that only your task will get allocated. So if I want to make any commit for a particular CR, so I can simply say like -m, the message can be defined as CR 1001. Assume that this is my CR number. And I can give a message like updated my payment script, something like this. Similarly, if you want to work on any other CR, you can able to change that CR number, give the appropriate CR number and process it like this. So now by looking into the message in my commit history, I can able to understand for what purpose we made the commit, also for which release you're making it. Or if you have any project ID, you can assign some project ID also as a prefix. Zero two. Like this, I can assign some number to that so that, it will be easy for us to track the changes. Easy. So this is what. So during interview, if they ask you about what are all the best practices while committing a change, means as per the best practice, we have to use the change request number or the CR number as a prefix to your commit message. Easy. So please keep this point in mind. And another important thing is, let's say, for example, consider I'm creating some commits. Correct. The commit message should be relevant to the release, but due to some reason, okay, I just given some incorrect project ID or I just gave some dummy commit message there. For example, in this case itself, let me come out of this. mkdir test repo 1. So let's create a new repository here. There will be git init. And then git, let me add a new file. And let me add this to staging area and then git commit. Okay. So now if you look into the git log here, I can able to see all the parameters, but the commit message, whatever I entered, it is not appropriate to the change. Correct. Due to some reason, I just misplaced or entered some incorrect commit message. So how I can change the commit message now? Because as per the coding standard or as per the company's policy, the commit message should be relevant to your changes. It can be prefixed with your CR number or any project ID kind of thing. So in this case, if you want to change your commit message alone, it is not possible. Why? Because whenever you try to commit anything, the changes should be there. There should be some incremental changes. Then only the commit can happen. Without any incremental changes, if you try to make any commit, it will not be successful. So the point is how we can able to commit or how we can able to update the commit message. For that, we use a parameter called amend parameter. Correct. So there is a parameter called amend. Git commit amend -m. You can enter a valid message. Great. Why? Because if you can see the scenario here, if I simply say git commit again, it will not work, right? There should be some incremental changes. So I'm not interested to make any incremental change because already my changes are ready. My intention is without making any changes to this file, without creating any new changes, I want to create or update my commit message. So for that, we can use a parameter called amend parameter. So that is applicable only for the latest commit. Okay, you cannot update the previous commit and all. It is not possible. Like for example, if you have 5 commits, means only for the latest commit you can able to update it. See here. So when I use a command git commit --- amend -m followed by the new commit message. So if I do this, it will go to the head pointer. Head pointer is pointing to this particular commit. So it goes to the head pointer and updates that particular commit message alone. This is also a very important question. Okay, so how we can able to update your commit message without making any new commits? You see, it is not creating a new commit point here, right? There is only one commit in my repository. Without any new commit point, we can able to just update the commit message by using amend parameter. So these are some best practices we use while working on git commit. So please try to practice this, but it is not recommended because as per the process, it's all developers' responsibility to maintain the proper commit message while they're entering. And this amend is applicable only for latest commit. If you want to change the last 4 commit message, it's not possible. Easy? Hope you're clear with this. Fine. So the next item in the list is about git ignore.
Sai, you mean to say it is not at all possible for us to change the last four commits, right?
Not commit message, I'm saying.
Commit
Not
message.
possible. Yeah, not possible.
I have a question for Sai. After we can commit the 2 files, so how we can change that one? Means we are committing 2 files.
It is not about the file, right?
Yeah,
It is about the commit point.
yeah, it is commit point, yes.
So assume that in your repository, you have CM1, CM2, CM3. CM3 is your latest commit point. Correct. So you can able to implement this amend only to this CM3, not to your CM2 or CM1. It's not possible. Correct.
Okay.
File changes, whatever you made, it is not going to get impacted. It is just a matter of your message, commit message. That's it. Easy?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that clear to everyone here?
Yeah.
And when we are giving the multiple commit message, so multiple means like one by one,
One by one essence.
like a multiple commit message we need to give for that commit message. So how we can done that one?
Not possible. You can give only one commit message to any commit, right? If you create a file, add it to staging area, and if you want to commit, just commit it. Or you can add a number of files to the staging area and create one commit point altogether. Correct?
Yeah, yeah, got it.
Yeah. Fine. So any other questions, or shall we move next topic, guys? Okay. So now we'll see something related to your git ignore concept. So this git ignore is basically used to ignore the files from tracking. Correct. So point here is, if you don't want to track the file, just create .git ignore file and save the file names. Okay. So this is about the thing. So concept might looks bit strange or a bit confusing, but it is a very important thing to consider, and it's all comes under the best practices of using a Git. So in my case, if you can see here, I just created one local repository and I made a commit, all right, for this particular file. But in real-time environment, if you're working for any enterprise level projects, we never create any commit directly with your project components. So when we talk about the project components, so in my previous module, I was talking about the project workspace, right? What is project workspace?
This contain the like code which is related to that project.
Even in our Python module also, we were using our Python project, correct?
Yes.
Project folder. So within the Python project folder, you were using some files like app.py, right? Templates. And within that, you can have a index.html, correct? So this is what the project workspace or project components actually. Any project will be having its own components. So this is something for your Python project. Similarly, if you're working on a Java project, instead of Python, if you're working on any Java based application, let it be like a Java Maven project, any Java based project, if you're a team means, there the folder structure will be completely different. Under the root folder, you'll be having something called src folder. Within that, you can have some Java programs. Even you can have something called main folder, and with the main folder, you can have some Java programs. Similarly, you can have some test folder. Within that, you can have some Java programs. And along with that, you can have some target folders. Within this target folder, they'll be maintaining some application artifacts. Like this is your actual source code. Once the source code is compiled, it creates artifacts, right? The binaries. Remember in our very first day session about DevOps, we talked about the build process, right?
Yes, yes.
What is build? It is the process of compiling the source code and creating the artifacts, right?
Artifacts. Yes.
So as part of your build process, the source code will be compiled and the artifacts will be created. Okay. And that artifacts will be actually maintained within this target folder. Like war file is one artifacts, or it can be your Java based jar file, anything for that matter. Got it. And not only that, that project folder can have some application properties. Like this, any project will be having the source code its artifacts and some application components, the properties or compiler options, something like that. So if I'm using the version control system, like Git means, what is the purpose of Git here? The purpose of Git is to track the source code changes, right?
Yes.
I'm not interested to track the war files and all, correct? Because the war files are binaries, it is the outcome of the build action. I'm not interested to create the versions or commit for this particular target folder. My intention is whenever developer makes any new changes in the program, only that program component, it can be Java or Python program or HTML component should be version controlled. I'm not interested to version control my war files, correct? So if you want to ignore any files from tracking, you can use a git ignore file and add that file name into that particular file and save it. Correct. So it can be anything like if you can see here, let me come out of this folder and let's create a new folder here. Test report 2, cd to the test report 2. And now let me initialize this git init. Okay. So it's all part of a best practice. So very important thing is, as a best practice, .git ignore file should be the initial commit for any repository. The initial commit, whatever you're going to make on the repository, it should be meant for .git ignore. I'm not sure how many of you remember this term initial commit. Yesterday also, while talking about the scenarios, I was using the term.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Initial commit. This is my repository. I was having the initial commit, and top of that only my actual commit is happening for the data. I'm not making this commit CM1 as initial commit, correct? So as a best practice, whenever we create any commit, any repository, the initial commit, whatever we have, right, it should be meant for your .git ignore file as a best practice. So we have to properly plan the repository management. It is a completely the responsibility of an application team who's responsible for this project component, who's responsible for the particular repository. They have to decide what are all the files has to be tracked and what are the files has to be ignored, because it is their own component, right? In this particular folder, which file they want to track or which file they want to ignore, it is their responsibility to identify that and create a ignore file. And the git ignore file should be of same form. Okay, it should start with dot because it is an hidden file, and it should be in small case. It is case sensitive. So let me create one new file here. At this point of time, there is no commits happen in this repository. Okay, and there is only one .git folder. Let me create a new file here, vi.git ignore. Using vi editor, I'm going to create this file, .git ignore file in the master branch. Now go to insert mode, and what are all the files you want to ignore, just add the file name. Let it be like a sample.txt file I want to ignore, or I want to ignore all the files of type doc, and I want to ignore all the files of type md. I want to ignore all types of file, war file. Or if you want to ignore the entire folder from that project, means you can simply say target /. So this will ignore the entire folder from tracking. So what is the need for docmd means, like we'll be maintaining some application properties, some documents for our reference in a development environment. I'm not interested to track all these things. I don't consider this a source code source code component. So I can ignore it. Easy. So create a file called .git ignore and maintain the file names or the file patterns in that particular file and save this. Escape :wq. So this is the file which we just created, and these are the records in the file. Correct. Now, once you create .gitignore file as the very first file, you have to add it to staging area, because if you see the status, it is untracked file now. Just add it to staging area and then commit this. This is my initial commit for gitignore. A message. That's it. Now, if you say ls, can you able to see that file?
No.
Because it is a hidden file.
Where?
.gitignore is a file name. We have created one hidden file, which is something used by Git for identifying your changes to be ignored. And it is not related to my project components, or it's not a Java program or Python program. It is just a file that is created for the Git perspective. Correct. Now, I want to create one project component. Let it be my Java program or whatever. So if I say echo record one file one.java, I've just create the file. And if I say ls, I should be able to see that file in my working directory. And if I say git status, what is expected?
Untracked.
Untracked file.
Yes, so file one.txt Java is considered an untracked file. Now, let me create another file like echo record one sample.txt file. So this file also I have created and is available in my working directory. Now, if I say git status, see, it is not even considering that file actually. Git is not even considering the sample.txt file. Why? Because we have already instructed Git to ignore that file through this .gitignore file. So whenever you create any new changes in your repository, the Git workflow is something like, first it will search for the .gitignore file, and the file whatever you have created now, if that file name or that file pattern, if it is there in the .gitignore file, it won't consider the file for tracking. Even it can be anything. Like if I say create one more file here, record one, s1.doc document file. If I say git status, see that s1.doc is available in working directory, but it is not considered by Git for tracking. Correct? So now if I say git add, what will happen? Which file will be added to staging area?
File one.
File.java.
Only file1.java will be added to staging area. Remaining these two files are still there in your working directory as a static file. Correct? Git ls, sorry, git, what is it? State commit -m, or if you can see here the status, it is in staging area now. If I say git commit file one.java, it's updated. Now the status is clean. If I say ls, I can see these three files are present in my working directory. If I say git ls -files, Git is having only one project component called file1.java and the initial file for gitignore. Easy. So this s1.doc and what is it called? The sample.txt file, it is not updated in your local repository. So whenever you want to ignore any file from tracking, you can just add that file name or the file pattern to .gitignore file and make it as a very initial commit. As a best practice, it is must to have. Any question? You understood the purpose of git ignore, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
So in
Yeah.
which situations will be using this? Why should I ignore? What happens if I include that file in a repository? Let's say I have a war file available here. I just ignored it. But what if I add it to my local repository? Will it cause any impact? What if I add this DOC to my local repository? Will it create any impact? It is purely depends upon the application's architecture. So when we design any application architecture, it is purely depends on the architecture of the application. Which component has to be added to local repository or which component should be there only in the local developer's machine. But it depends. And if you wisely use this concept, right, it will be very much helpful to protect your credentials in your shared environment. I'll give you one real-time scenario now. Consider I'm going to prepare one Java project. It is a 3-tier application architecture. Through my Java program, I can able to access my database. For example, consider user wants to log into their application. So when user enters the user ID, this Java program will accept the user ID and password and query the table. So through your Java program, you have to interact with the database. That is the programming logic. So to interact with database, what we need? We need the credentials, database credentials. So in any application development process, right, the database credentials like a username and a DB password will be saved as a file. It will be part of the source code repository, or it can be in the form of DB secrets. In that secret file, they can able to have the credentials, something like this. So assume that this is a secret volume or secret direct file which contains database credentials. So the programming logic, what it will do means it will read this file, capture the username and password, and with that credential, it will query the table. That is the logic. Why? Because we are not supposed to hard code any credentials in the source code actually. As per the company's security policy, developers are not supposed to hard code any credentials in the source code. The credentials should be maintained as a separate entity. So through their programming logic, whenever they try to read a data from the database, first they have to read this file, capture the username and password into a variable and use that variable for querying it. Understood, right? What is the purpose of maintaining this database file or credential files? Are you getting a point?
Yeah.
Now, this particular project, as a developer, I am preparing it in my local machine. This project is available in my local machine, and it means it is my working directory. So from this working directory, whenever I make any changes, I'll be adding it to the staging area, correct? And then I'll be adding it, committing it to the local repository. So this is how I manage my changes in the local repository to create the commit points. Now assume that without proper knowledge, I have just committed all these changes in my local repository and I just pushed into my remote repository. What will happen? Without proper knowledge, I just pushed everything to my remote repository. So what it means? I'm just exposing all these credentials to my global users. The credentials which is limited only for my view in my local machine, now it is available for my global community. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So if you want to prevent such situations, what you can do means you can create .gitignore file. And in that file, you can maintain all these file names like this. You can able to maintain your war file names also like this. So now as a user, you can maintain all the credentials in local machine. You can able to process in a program that doesn't matter. If you try to add to staging area, it just ignores these files and add only the required component staging area. And that will be commit to local repository and publish to your remote repository. Easy. So this is the basic requirement, real-time scenario, why we use our git ignore. Understood the concept now, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So main purpose is like unused file we can use in this git ignores, yes.
It is not an unused file. It is the file that are continuously in use throughout the program lifecycle. But the scope of the file should be within my machine, within my working directory.
Okay, for that privacy purpose, we can save in this git ignore.
Yes, yes. Am I clear with this, all of you?
Yeah, yes.
Means when we have this hidden credentials in git ignore in working directory and code is pushed into remote repository, still it can execute the application accessing the credentials.
How it is possible? If you want to execute that application, it requires a credential, right? So
Right.
in the target machine where you want to execute that application, you have this file separately. Got it? That should not be done through your Git repository. That can be done through any credential manager or security vaults kind of thing.
Okay.
So by mistake, we have added in this remote repository. So we can roll back in this local repository.
By mistake, it should not happen. That is what the point here. Okay. It should never happen. If it happens, then you have to delete entire thing. There is no point of rollback or undo and all. We completely delete that repository and recreate from the scratch. I don't want any trace of it, because if I do some rollback, it might create some traces of it, right? Commit history. They can able to revert or take it, resume it anytime. So we never encourage that, especially while handling with credentials. Correct?
Yeah, yes.
So even yesterday, I was talking about your Git reset. Correct? If you can see this scenario,
Yes.
the scenario I was giving you, right? So a repository can have a number of commits. Like this, it can have a number of commits. Assume that this is my latest commit and this one. So the initial commit, it was meant for .gitignore. If I want to reset my repository, I can say git reset -add followed by my initial commit message. So what it mean here? Assume this is a commit ID.
Yeah.
So what it mean?
Permanently delete, yes.
It will delete all these 4 commits permanently. It just cleans up everything, and the repository will be having only one initial commit. It just reset back to the initial level. So this will be the outcome of this repository now. Correct?
Yeah, yes.
So that is what the purpose of using git ignore. If you have the git ignore as a very initial commit, on top of it, you can able to maintain any number of your application related changes. You see?
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Is that clear to everyone or any question?
So if you push it to a remote server, still the git ignore file can be accessible to others.
Yeah, git ignore file will be accessed by others because git ignore will be having the name of the files, right?
Okay.
That is required, but
So
not the actual file.
So the purpose is this file can be accessed only by a particular developer or something like that only, right?
These files
Okay.
will be accessible only by the users in that local machine.
Okay.
But the .gitignore file, which is there in a repository, right? This can be published to your remote repository. That doesn't matter because it is just having the name of the files, right?
Okay. Oh, if they clone it and if they install it in the machine, if after they're working, still they can access the git ignore file by the other users also.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay.
Right? Yes, no, or any other questions or confusions here?
It is
Yeah, all
mainly
done.
used for security purpose, all in one.
One of the use cases. I just give you one scenario here.
Okay.
Got it? So if you don't want to expose any of your files, not only security file, any file for that matter, like it can be application properties or any other test cases or whatever, if you don't want to expose it to, or if you don't want that file to be tracked by Git, just add it to the Git ignore. Simple. Easy?
Yeah.
Why most of you are silent? Already we can start our. Huh? Looks like for most of you, weekend is already started.
Oh.
Hmm? Packaging.
Okay, sir.
Huh? It looks like people started the meeting and doing some multitasking there. Huh? Okay, if things are clear, then we can proceed further. No problem for me. Shall we?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, looks like.
Yes.
All right. Like this, we'll be working on a lot of scenarios when it comes to your local repository management. And then as part of the repository, you should know how to create a repository, how to make some commits, how to explore the logs, commit histories, how to work with your undo action, whether to undo from staging area or from the committed repositories, right? And then git ignore. All these things are some essential components. And the next important topic in the list is about git branching techniques. Okay, this is one of the very core topic because if you see any git repository, it is based upon the branch. If you simply create a repository, by default creates one branch. So this git branches are used to independently work on any changes. And also git branches are used to perform parallel development. Okay, so these are the two main points for using git branches. It's a very essential thing. Okay, like in a real-time environment, we always work in a multi-user environment, more than one developer, or even as the individual developer, I need to work on multiple features at the same time. correct? As a developer, I'll be working on multiple projects or multiple features at the same time. It means I need to work on project 1 and project 2, and both the projects will be referring to the same repository. Correct? So in that case, if I'm working for project 1, the changes whatever I make for the project 1 should not impact project 2. You see? So in any distributed version control system, these branches are used to perform the parallel development, and the default branch name. For example, in our case, we have something called master branch, right?
Yes.
Remember the master branch.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So this master branch is always considered as a production version of your source code. Correct. Let's say from your local repository, if you want to share anything to your remote repository, or from one remote repository, if you want to share anything to another remote repository, we always consider the master branch as a final copy. We'll be sharing that only. Got it? So there is a concept called Git branching strategies. So in order to work on your Git branches, and if you want to work on any parallel development, you have to be very clear about this branching strategies. So what is the purpose of branching strategies means? It is used to perform parallel development without impacting the integrity of the master branch. Integrity means
Combining or adding.
I'm not talking about integration. Correctness, right? Always the master branch should hold the production data. When you commit anything to a master branch, that master branch should be 100% tested version. There should not be any incorrect data or any inconsistent data should be there. See, so you have to always maintain the integrity of that particular master branch so that any user who wants to work on it for further enhancement, it won't create any issue as a backlog issue. Got it? So branching strategy is a very essential thing to understand first of all. So there are a lot of things, okay, like if you want to create a branch in your Git repository, it's very simple. We have a git CLI command to create a branch. Like there is a command called git branch command. When I say git branch, it will get me the list of branches present in this repository. And you can see there is only one repository called master. There's only one branch called master branch now. And this is the current branch we are now. Like this, we have some CLI commands to work with Git branches. Working with Git branch is not a big deal. Okay, the commands are very easy, and Git is not a new tool. Okay, it is there in market for many years. There are a lot of evolution, a lot of new versions are introduced. So we have latest commands which are very much capable to handle the branches. So working with branch is a very easy thing, but the very important thing is the branching strategy. Okay, so if you are clear with the strategy, then only you can able to start work with your what do you call this, Git repositories. Correct? Say for an example, it's a lengthy topic. Okay, you have to bear with me, no other option. If you want to have a break, let me know. If you think that it is going above, if you're unable to understand, you can stop me wherever you want and you can have a quick break and come back. All right.
Yeah, okay.
So now listen, please. So consider we can have one small situation here. Consider I have a repository. In this repository, whenever we create a repository, by default, we can have a master branch, right? And in this master branch, I can make some commits like CM1, CM2, and CM3. Assume that I have 3 commits in my master branch. So let it be like a scenario 1. In scenario 1, I have a repository with just a master branch. And if I'm the only person working on this repository, it is applicable for single user and single feature. If I'm the only person working on the repository and I'm not doing any parallel development, means I can very well go ahead with this approach, because I can directly work on a master branch. I can make any number of commits. That is what we are doing these many times. We have created a repository and directly updating master branch. Because I'm the only user, I'm not going to do any parallel development, so I don't have any problem in updating a master branch. Now, consider a scenario 2. Listen carefully. In scenario 2, same user with multiple feature. It means I want to work on the same repository as a user, but I want to work on 2 different features. So consider the same repository here. If I want to work on the same repository and if there is no other changes, means I can directly create a new commit point, right? That is not going to create any impact. But if I want to work on multiple features, I'm not supposed to directly update the master branch. Got it? So whenever a user Git branching strategy means a process. As per the Git branching strategy or a process, whenever the user is working on more than one feature at the same time, they are not supposed to directly work on the master branch. What they are supposed to do means they have to create a copy of the branch and create a new feature branch. So what I can do, I can create a feature branch like this. And whenever we create any branch, right, it will be just a copy of the master branch, actually nothing else. In master branch, if you have 3 commits means, so when you create a feature branch based upon master, this feature branch also will be having the same 3 commits. Easy? Are you getting a point?
Yeah.
Similarly, if I want to work on another feature, I can create another feature based upon the same master branch. So the hierarchy is, we have a master branch. Based upon master branch, we create feature 1 and feature 2. Now, this feature 2, it is just a logical copy of your master branch. So always keep one thing in mind, branches are just a logical copy of a repository, that is a master branch. So this feature 1, it is just a logical copy of a master branch. If I want to work on any feature here, I can directly make some changes like F1, CM1, F1, CM2, F1, CM3. That means these 3 commits are the incremental changes which is performed in feature 1 branch. Similarly, in feature 2 also, we can able to perform some incremental changes, correct? Yes or no? Are you getting a point?
Yeah.
So as a developer, independently, you can able to work on these features. You can make any number of commits. So whenever you make any commit, obviously you have to test your changes. Once your testing is completed, upon thorough testing and proper review, you can merge your changes from feature 1 to master branch. Let's say I'm done with my feature 1. Correct. I'm done with my feature 1. Assume that let's have only one branch for now. I'll just give you one example alone now here. Assume that in my feature branch 1, I'm making n number of commits. Upon thorough review, I can simply execute a command, git merge command, followed by the branch name. So when I run this command git merge followed by branch name, the changes whatever you made in your feature branch will be merged into your master branch like this. This is upon merging from feature 1 branch. Easy. So this is what the recommended approach. Whenever you're working on any feature, it can be one feature or multiple features, doesn't matter. You have to do a proper review and merge it. Easy. So now that feature 1 changes are merged into your master branch, there is no problem. But I also have a feature 2 branch here, right? So no. We also have a feature 2 branch. What will happen to this feature 2 branch now? If I'm ready with feature 2, what I can do now? Can I directly merge into master branch?
You have to check the feature and features are working correctly, and then you can.
Yeah, of course. I just checked the entire feature to branch. I've thoroughly tested all my changes. Everything is working as expected. And now I'm ready to merge my changes to master branch. So can I merge or not?
Yeah, you can do that. Right.
Hmm?
Yeah, you can do that. Right.
So the point here is already feature 1 changes are merged into your master branch. Now on top of it, if I try to merge anything to master branch, means there are some chances of getting the conflicts. Why? Because assume that in feature 1, I have updated a file like file1.txt. And this feature 2 also, I'm updating the same file in the master branch. So when both the features are trying to update the same file in the target branch, it will create a conflict. Correct?
Yeah.
More than one user or more than one feature, if they try to update the same file, it will create a conflict in the target branch. So in this case, I'm not supposed to directly merge my feature 2 into master branch. So what the strategy is going to say here is this scenario 2, if you are working on such situations, you can properly plan your folder structure. So in this case, before you create your feature branch, you have to create a branch called developer branch. And this developer branch is a copy of a master branch. So you can able to manage this. Now, based upon the developer branch only, you have to create your feature branch. Are you getting a point?
Yeah.
In this case, whenever you're working on multiple features, as per the best practice, you're not supposed to directly create a feature branch from master. First, you have to create a developer branch, and based upon developer branch, create a feature branch. Now, in feature branch, you can able to make a number of incremental changes like this. That's not going to impact anything. Assume that in feature 1 and in feature 2, I made some incremental changes. Now I'm ready with my feature 1. So what I can do?
Merge into the developer branch.
I have to merge this to developer branch, not to the master branch. Similarly, I'm ready with my feature to changes. So this changes, new changes will be merged into the develop branch. So when you try to merge both the features into develop branch, if there is any conflict occurs, you have to fix that conflict in developer branch, and upon thorough review, you can merge it to a master branch. Easy?
Yes.
So with this, we are trying to prevent the impact or prevent the conflict in the target branch. Your master branch should not have any issue. That's what the agenda here, right? Because always this is used to perform the parallel development without impacting the integrity of master branch. If there is any a conflict occurs also, let it occur in the lower branch. It doesn't matter. I can quickly review it and fix it here. But I don't want to allow any conflict in my master branch. Are you able to understand the scenario?
Yes.
So in a multiple features or multiple users, we are not supposed to directly create a feature branch like this. If there is only one feature, that's fine. Like in my case, single. If this is the case, that's fine. You can able to directly work on a master branch, or you can able to create a feature branch and work on it. That doesn't matter. But if it is a multiple feature, in that case, it is recommended to have a develop branch. Easy?
Yes.
Any question here?
Nope. Clear.
So this is how we define the process, and it is a process. Okay, it is not a technical thing. Process means it is like no rule or a strategy that everyone should follow on development perspective. Now, if you look into this scenario 3, can we use this scenario for more than one developer? Let's say I have only one developer accessing this repository. Assume that I have one more developer wants to work on the same repository. Can I use this scenario?
Yes.
Means
We can't use the same scenario, right?
let's say there is another scenario where multiple users and multiple features. So I have a master branch with initial 3 commits. Developer 1 wants to work on the repository. He can work on multiple features. So I just create a developer branch, and based upon developer branch, I've created some feature branches and independently working on it. That should be fine. Now, another developer also wants to work on the same project. Something like this. Developer 2. So this developer 2 also will be working on the same project. Means based upon the master branch, can I create one more developer branch and allow the feature branches for the developer?
No, it will create the conflict.
So now if both the developers are ready with their changes, they will try to merge it into the master branch. Correct?
Yes.
So again, there are some chances of getting the conflict here, right?
Yeah.
So in this situation, what we are doing means, before you create a developer branch, there is a branch called integration branch. This integration branch will be a copy of your master branch. And based upon this integration branch only, your developer branch should be created. So now if you see the hierarchy, my repository has a master branch. Based upon the master branch, we have integration branch. Now I can have any number of developer branch based upon the integration branch. And each developer can have a number of features also. That doesn't matter. right? They can able to work on any number of features. Once their features are ready, we can merge that feature to the respective developers branch like this. Now, when both the developer changes are ready, what we can do?
The integration branch.
We can merge it into the integration branch. So let's say this is my developer one's changes. Okay, like this, I can able to merge the changes from developer one, developer two into integration branch. And finally, I can able to merge all these things into my master branch as like CM1, some CM4, something like this. So CM4 here is the integration of developer one and developer two changes. Easy? Are you getting a point? Let me put it in this way. You see, is that clear now?
Yes.
So with this, you can able to accommodate any number of developers. At enterprise level, if more than one user wants to work on the same repository, you can blindly allow them to use. Because we are going to use the integration branch, and based upon that, you're going to create the developer branch, and developers can independently work on the changes, and their features will be merged into their developer branch. Upon proper review and testing, merge it to integration branch. And here in integration branch, do a thorough review and testing, and then merge it to your master branch. Easy? Any question on this?
Nope.
Is that clear to everyone here?
Yes. Yes.
Am I making things clear to every one of you? That's the point, actually. It's not like at the end, you should not say like nothing is understandable or something like that. Okay.
It's all clear.
Fine. So now, if you look into this scenario 4, it can allow any number of users to work on their independent features and maintain the integrity of your master branch. That is fine. But at enterprise level, there'll be multiple teams, right? Correct? There'll be more than one development team. So if the user wants to work from one particular team means we can allow this approach. But what if there are more than one teams wants to use the same repository? In that case, how are you going to scale this activity? For that, you cannot rely on this approach. You have to think about in a broader view at enterprise level. Okay, so let it be scenario 5 here. Listen, please. So in scenario 5, I have a master branch with some initial commits, that doesn't matter. And based upon that master branch, I have an integration branch. And assume that this integration branch, I want to consider as integration branch 1. This is meant for team 1. Because I have multiple teams, right? There is a team, and that team is having their integration branch, and a team can have a number of developers. They can independently work on it. Similarly, if they have one more team, I need to create one more integration branch like this. Correct? This is integration branch 2. And this is meant for team 2. Easy? Are you able to understand the scaling here?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now the feature branches changes should be merged into the developer branch, and every developer will be merging changes into their own integration branch. Correct? Now, if both the teams are ready with the changes, here also there are chances for conflict, right?
Yes.
We can't allow all the teams to directly update the master branch, right? So in scenario 5, the actual hierarchy should be something like this, a release branch, which is just a copy of your master. So it means based upon that release branch only, your integration branches should be created. Correct. When team 1 is ready with the changes, they can merge the changes into their release branch. So I can simply say like something like this. So this is team 1's changes and this is team 2 changes. Is that possible? Is it possible now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like this, I can able to accommodate any number of teams at enterprise level to work on this repository, and they can independently work on their integration branch. Once the changes are ready, they can merge into release branch. And in this release branch, you can do a thorough analysis, thorough review, thorough testing, and then merge it into your master branch, something like this, CM4. So now in this case, the CM4 is nothing but the integration of team 1 and team 2 changes. Easy? Am I clear with this?
Yes.
So if you consider scenario 4, can we use this scenario as at enterprise level? At enterprise level, will the scenario will be useful? Yes, right.
Yeah.
That's what the expectation. No, I have a repository. At enterprise level, I should allow any number of teams to access my repository, and the team can have any number of developers, and each developer of the team, they can have a number of features. So whatever the hierarchy they have, it should be processed through your release branch. And then we'll be creating one master branch here. It gets updated with all the changes. Easy? So this is what the architecture, your application repository level architecture that is defined with help of your branching strategies. Any question? And we DevOps team will not do such decision making. It is purely depends upon the application architecture. For any application, there'll be application owner and the application architecture. They are responsible to define the strategy, and it will be followed by their development teams. Got it? So any question here, please let me know. All good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're clear with this, just go have a quick break and come back. Then we'll be working with branches now. Easy?
Okay.
I'll show you how to create a branch, how to create the feature branch, how to perform the merge. And while merging, if there's any conflict occurs, how to work on the conflicts. I'll show you one by one. All right. So others, if you have any question, you can utilize this time. 5 minutes sufficient, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Vivek, can you tell me what is git ignore one more time? Because I understand that git ignore is only used to git to not track the important files. Or do you have any other scenario for not using a git ignore?
That is the only scenario.
That's the only
If you
scenario.
don't want to track any files, just add that file name or that file patterns to a git ignore file and save it, commit it. That's all.
Okay, sure.
Got it? So shall we? Hope is
Yes.
back.
Yes.
Yes.
Already left for this week. Huh? Okay. So now let's work on these branches. Okay, like I'll show you how to create a branch. So there is a command, say like command called git branch command. I showed you, it is just to list the branches. Okay, if you want to get the list of branches, you can able to use git branch command in the repository. Like you can see here, git branch, you can find that list of branches. We have only one master branch. Similarly, you can use the same command to create a new branch. Like if I say git branch, followed by the branch name, feature 1. And now if I say git branch command, you can see a new branch has been created. And this asterisk denotes we are in the current branch called master. All right. So using git branch command, you can able to get the list of branches as well as if you say the branch name, it will just create the branch. Got it? Now, there is another command called git switch. Git switch -c followed by the branch name. Let it be like feature 2. So git switch -c followed by the feature branch, new branch name. It will create a new branch called feature branch 2, and the control will be switched to that feature branch 2. So from master branch, the control is switched to feature branch now. Got it? So this is another method to create a new branch. So there's also create a branch and switch to new branch, right? So what is the difference between git branch command and switch command while creating the branch means? Git branch command will just create a branch, but the control will not be switched to the new branch. But if you use a switch command, it creates and it automatically switches the control to the new branch. Correct? Now, if you want to come back to a master branch again, let's say control is in feature branch. Now, if I say git branch command, you can see we have 3 branches in our repository. Out of that, currently we are in feature 2 branch. If you want to switch to your master branch or feature 1, you can simply use git switch followed by the branch name. Let it be master or something like this. So what happened now? The control is switched back to master branch. So git switch followed by the existing branch name. So this command will switch
C
to
is
specific.
used for creating. Get
Yes.
switch slash up.
Yes. So when you say C, it is just to create a new branch. Got it? Without using the C, if you use a branch name, it just try to switch to the branch. Let's say I don't have a branch called feature 3 here, right? At this point of time. Now, if I use git switch feature 3, see what happened? It says invalid reference because feature 3 is not present. So if you want to create feature 3, you can simply say -c to create it. So it will create and then switch to the target branch. And one more important point to be considered here is whenever you try to create any branch, from where you are creating it, that matters a lot. If you are running this create branch command from the master branch, means based upon the master branch only the new branch will be created. Got it? So it means in your master branch, if you have 3 commits, the new branch also will be now assigned with 3 commits. It's just a replica of it. Right? So that matters. So if I say git log hyphen one line, see, at this point, we have master, feature 1 and feature 2, and all these 3 branches are in sync. That means the files, whatever we have created, it will be available in all these 3 branches. Got it? So whenever we talk about a commit, in which branch you're committing, only that branch will be considered for commit. If you want to make any new commit in feature 2, just switch to the new branch and make a commit. Got it? So if you want, I can repeat this. So let me come out of this folder. Let's create a new folder here. mkdir, sorry, what is it? Test repo 3, cd to the test repo 3, and let me initialize a new repository. So as soon as I initialize a new repository, you can say git status, there is nothing to commit or nothing here, right? So in this case, if I say git branch, see, it is not displaying anything. So when the branch will be active means it should have at least one commit. If there is no commits in your branch, then git cannot consider as a branch. That's why it is just not giving anything here. So let's make a new commit, because only if you have a commit, you can create a new branch out of it. File1.txt and git add and then git commit -m, let it be cm1. So now I just made a new commit for this particular file, and now if I say git branch, I can see a new branch is created. Easy. Now, I mean, branch is activated now. So now with this branch, I can able to create another branch like feature 1. Before that, just get the log. See here, in this branch, we made only one commit, and the git status, it says the status is clean with just one file, right? So we are on this master branch. Head is pointing to the latest commit of your master branch now. Now let's create a new branch. Git branch followed by the new branch name. Let it be feature 1. So when I run this command, and if I want to get the list of branches, you can see the feature branch 1 is created. And if I try to get the log, you can see at this point of time, your master branch and the feature branch are in sync. It just creates a copy of a master branch. All right. So in master branch, you have the file. And if you switch to feature branch, like git switch feature 1, and here if I say git log, sorry, you can see what are all the commits you made in your master branch. It is available in feature branch also. Just copied it. It will be having the same file content. Right. Easy. Understood, right? So branches are just the logical copy of your current branch. So like this, you can able to consider your master branch as a base and create any number of branches as per your need. It's possible. Now we just create one branch. Let me switch back to master branch. Git branch. I want to create one more branch based upon master. So I can say git branch feature 2. Git branch feature 2 I want to create. So whenever you try to create a branch, please take care of your current branch. Okay, that is very much important. So based upon this master branch only, we are creating a feature branch now. So it means your log should say all these branches are in sync with one file. Easy. Any question in creating the branches and navigating to the branch?
No.
Yes.
So we have just created the branches and navigate to the branch. At any point of time, you can use a switch command to switch back to your branches. Correct. Now,
I have one question. If we already created feature one branch, and after that, if we update the master branch, like create a new commit in master branch, then it will be a sync or
it won't be sync automatically. You have to sync it manually. I'll show you how to do that.
okay.
Right. All right. So now, let's get into feature one. Git switch feature one. Control is switch to feature one. And if I say git log, I can see feature one and master branch are in sync. And if I say ls, I have the same file which we have created in master branch with the same record. Now, if I want, I can able to create a new file, or I can able to update the same file. Possible, no? I can make any number of changes in my feature branch, right? I can independently work on this feature.
Yes.
So what I can do, I can quickly update a file here. Let it be like go record 2. I can simply select from feature 1, just to content of the record. I just want to add this record to file 1. So if I say git status, this file has been modified in feature 1. We are on feature 1 and we just modify this file in feature 1. And if I want, I can able to add it to the staging area of my feature 1 and commit this to the feature 1 branch. That's it. Now if I say ls or if I say cat the file name, I can see there are 2 records in my file1.txt. And if I say git status, it should be clean. And if I say git log, I can see this feature 1 branch, it is 1 commit ahead of your master branch now. Right? We made one new commit in our feature branch. So feature branch is having 2 commits altogether. One is from the base master branch and the latest one is available here. At this point of time, if I switch to master branch and if I say git log one line, you can see your master branch and feature 2 branch are in sync. So your master 2 is not having any clue about what we did in feature 1. If you want, you can verify the file content here. See, from master branch, if you go through the file, it is not having these changes. This record is updated in your feature branch 1, not in the master branch. So your master branch is completely isolated. Getting your point? Like this, as a developer, you can able to create any number of branches and independently work on the branches, independently make some commits there that will never impact your base branch by default. Easy. This is what we call as a PAL development. If I want, I can go to my feature 2 branch and I can make some changes there. I can able to update it there. Everything is possible. Got it? Any question here? Any question? So what we did here, we have created a repository and then we have created a very first commit in the master branch, and then we use git branch command to create feature 1 and feature 2, and we have used git switch command to switch to feature 2 and made some commits. So now the repository is something like this: master branch and feature 1 and feature 2. So master is having initially 1 commit. When I create a feature branch 1, it is also having CM1, correct? I'm just drafting whatever I showed you as a demo. I'm just drafting it now. Are you able to understand?
Yes.
Yes.
And now in feature 1, I made some incremental changes like F1, CM1, correct? So this is what we did so far. Now I'm ready with my changes. My feature 2, feature 1 changes are ready to merge into master branch. So what I can do here?
What?
Sorry?
That's
If
good.
I want to merge my changes from your current branch to your target branch. So currently I'm on feature branch 1, correct? I'm on
Yes.
feature branch 1. In this feature branch 1, I made some commits. And from this branch, if I want to merge it to my target branch, first I have to switch to target branch. So git switch master, and then you should give git merge feature 1. So this merge command should be executed from target branch. Maybe initial till you practice, it might be confusing for sure. From what is it? From target branch. But once you start practicing, right, it's very simple. Okay, you don't need to bother about it. It comes automatically. Easy. So now the protocol is in your feature branch, you can able to make any number of commits. If you want to merge those changes to your target branch, first switch to the target branch, and then from the target branch, run that merge command. So that's what you're going to do now. So I'm on this feature branch 1. I can say git log 1 line, and I can say cat to the file name. Those are things. And now I want to switch to master branch. And in master branch, if I say git log, it is not having any clue about feature 1 changes. All right. So what I can do, I can simply say git merge followed by the branch name feature 1. So if I run this command from the master branch, it will get into the feature branch 1 and it will identify the incremental changes. Incremental change means this is the incremental change we made in feature 1. So this will be committed to your master branch now. See, that's what happened here. So now if I say git log one line in master branch, you can see your master branch and feature 1 is in sync now. Correct? Master branch and feature branch 1 are in sync. It means if I say cat to that file name, I should be able to see the record whatever we have committed in feature 1, it is update master branch. Easy?
Yes.
Any question here? We go to this. So like this, you can able to create any number of feature branches and work on it independently without impacting others. Easy? Yes, no?
Yes.
In this case, feature 2 will be having only the copy of master
Yeah,
commits,
initial,
right?
right? Initial one. So that's what you can
Initial
see.
one. Huh.
In master branch, I gave a command git log hyphen one line. You can see master and feature 1 are in sync. The feature 2, it is at the very initial stage now. So if you navigate to feature 2 branch, it is a completely isolated one, right? Can you see this now? It is having the very initial commit, which was created in master branch, correct?
Yes, yes.
That is how we perform the independent changes. Yeah, sorry, what is it?
If we make changes any changes in the feature too, then we have to create one developer file. Then from there we have to merge, right?
Not necessary. No, yeah, it is possible. If as per the process, as per the strategy, you can follow this. Like you can able to implement all these things are some examples. Okay, real-time scenarios I'm giving you.
Okay.
Correct. So if you want to maintain the integrity of your master branch, you can create some develop branch and you can follow the path properly.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you want, I'll do one thing now. So I am on feature 2 branch now, right?
Yes.
I have a file like file1.txt. Now, if I make any changes in the file, let it be like oh record 2 from feature 2. I want to add this record to file 1. And I want to add this to the staging area of feature 2. And I want to commit this. It is F2 CM1. And if I say git log one line from feature 1, it is having one new changes in feature 1. Correct? If
Yes.
I'm ready with the changes, can I directly merge into master branch?
No.
Let's say if I switch to master branch and what is it? File1.txt. And if I say git log one line, at this point, your master and feature 1 are in sync. What are changes you made in feature 2? Your master branch is not having any idea about it. So let me try to merge it. Git merge feature 2 to master branch. What will happen? Will it accept the changes there?
No, because both the branches having the same file, file1.txt.
Yes. So whenever we try to update the target branch at the same file at the same record level, it will create a conflict. So if you can see the changes here, git log one line, your master branch this merge command does not create a new commit here. Correct? Why? Because it is still in merging state. It is still in merging state. The merge is not yet completed. Why? Because there is a conflict. Auto merge of this file, there is a conflict, merge conflict in file1.txt. So this is a scenario. So whenever there is a merge conflict occurs, okay, first you need to understand why the merge conflict occurs, and then you need to handle merge conflict. So when I talk about merge conflict, when it will occur means when we try to merge the changes from more than one feature or user into the same file at the same record level to the target branch. So it means whenever I try to merge the changes from more than one feature into the target branch on the same file, the same record level, merge conflict occurs. So once merge conflict occurs, it is a responsibility of the developer to handle and fix the merge conflict. So the next important question is how to fix the merge conflict. It's a very important interview question also. So in order to fix the merge conflict, there are certain steps to be followed. First step is we have to identify the file or files, because in real-time environment, more than one files might cause the conflict. So you have to first identify the list of files that are causing the merge conflict. Once you identify the file, okay, read the file, or I can say like open and review the file content. Open and review the file content, and then you decide which feature or user changes to be retained or removed from that file. We have to decide that. And then the next step is edit the file, delete the header and footer lines, and update the file content accordingly. That means as per your requirement, as per your decision, which feature has to be retained, just retain it, or which one you want to remove it, and update and save the file. Okay. Update means save. Once this is done, you can simply go ahead and perform git add and commit the changes in target branch. Okay, that's it. So first we have to identify the file that are causing the issue. So in order to do that, it's very simple. When you run this command itself, git itself will give you the list of files that are causing issue. See here, when I execute a git merge command, git itself is giving the list of files that are causing issue. So So identifying the file is not a big deal. Even if you clean up the screen also, if you simply say git status, because it is in merging state, right? So when you, at any point of time, if you say git status, you can able to get the list of files that are causing the issue. So there won't be any problem in identifying the file. That's not an issue now. Now, once you identify the file, just open the file. Let it be like cat file name. See here. Initially, I was having only one record. And from my feature 1, I have inserted this record, added this record to the file. And then from feature 2, I am trying to update this second record to the file. Got it? So now the issue is with these two records. That's why you can see the head pointer. That means the header and footer that is pointing to this record. Now you can just edit the file. Go to insert mode and remove the header and the footer lines. Now you can decide whose record has to be maintained, whether it is from feature 1 or feature 2. If you want to keep both the things, just keep it by deleting the header components, header and footer components. Or if you think that only the feature 2 changes has to be maintained, means you can just remove one entry from there and save the file. Got it? That is the next step. Edit the file, delete the header and footer lines, update and save the file content accordingly. And now still it is in merging state. Okay, it is not yet merged. You have to issue git add and then git commit. Fixed. A message. So now only it is merged into master branch. Now if I say cat to the file name, I can see the record 2 from feature 2 is updated here. Easy. So whenever we try to merge the changes from more than one feature into a target branch, I repeat, whenever we try to merge the changes from more than one feature into the target branch, if the same file at the same record level is being updated, it will create a merge conflict. And when merge conflict occurs, first we have to identify the file that is causing the merge conflict and then review the file content and decide whose change has to be retained or removed. Upon proper review, edit the file and update the file by deleting the header and footer lines. Perform git add and commit to implement the changes in the target branch. Easy. Any question on this? Am I clear with this or any confusion?
Yeah, it's clear.
Clear.
Looks like smooth.
Yeah, we will try with our own side and then we can check like. Yeah,
That you can do, that is secondary, but conceptually you are clear or not?
yeah,
The
it is
concept
clear.
what
Clear.
we're learning,
Yeah.
right? Definitely practice matters a lot. Okay, even if you practice for 1 year also, I won't say it is a complete practice. You need more practice, that is secondary. But understand the requirement here. Whenever we talk about the branching, it is promptly meant for parallel development. So to perform parallel development, I can create some branches, but independently I can able to create the features, but when I try to merge into the target branch, it is creating conflict. So once the conflict occurs, how we can able to fix the conflict? These are the steps. Clear?
So, Sai, just now you resolved the merged conflict, right?
Yeah.
So after that, will the feature two and the master they will be in sync or
No,
what?
no, we are just updating only a master branch, right? If you can see the
Okay.
commit here, like if I see the git log one line, see your master branch is updated with some changes.
Okay. Okay.
Got it? I haven't sicked anything. Okay, the changes whatever you made in master branch, The changes might look similar to your feature 2, but it is not a direct merge happened, right?
Okay, got it.
So it is not in sync. We have to synchronize it. I'll talk about sync in some time later, okay? Now, the very important thing is whenever we're working on multiple features or when same repository is being used by multiple developers, definitely there are some chances of merge conflict. Okay, you can expect the merge conflict if you are working in your traditional agile methodologies or waterfall or any other process. But if you are working on a DevOps implementation, on DevOps perspective, if you say, if let's say you are working for an organization and you have implemented DevOps there, means as part of DevOps implementation, we should never get merge conflict. That is what the agenda here. So using DevOps approach, we always try to prevent the merge conflict. Got it? We never try to fix the merge conflict. As per the DevOps process, we always try to prevent the merge conflict. So how to prevent the merge conflict? How to prevent the merge conflict? Any guess?
We can
Or you can tell me this, how you fix the merge conflict here. These are some steps, right?
Yeah.
I've given you 5
First we have
important
to
steps here. So out of these 5 steps, which step is most important to fix this issue? Which step is the ultimate step that fixes the issue?
the last step.
Editing the file
edit
and
and
Uh-huh.
deleting the header of header lines.
Deleting the file. Okay, header and footer. Okay. This one.
Yes.
Any other inputs?
And also the last one. Unless and until if you commit, if you won't commit, it will be still in merging state only, right?
See, when you compare all these steps, right? The very important step to fix the issue is the review. Open the file and review the file content. Correct? We are reviewing the file content and we are deciding based upon the review, we are coming to a conclusion whose change has to be retained and whose change has to be moved further or both. Correct? So that is what DevOps also preaches. So when the merge conflict occurs, when more than one users are trying to update the repository, they should have proper, review before they merge changes. Without proper review, if they try to merge it to the master branch or target branch, definitely the merge conflict occurs, right? Correct. So what DevOps preaches actually, DevOps ultimately it is a strategy that helps to promote the collaboration with the teams, right? So before you merge anything to target branch, just collaborate between each other and understand what are the changes we are doing independently. And because of your changes, whether it will create any conflict or not, we have to properly review it. Upon thorough review and proper collaboration between the teams or the team members, if you do the merge action, definitely you can prevent the issue. Got it? So with review actually and review before merge, we can prevent the merge conflict. Easy. So this is what expected. It's a very important for interview also. Okay, during interview, consider you are in an interview and they ask a question like, have you faced any? Let's say you are working, you are applying for a DevOps role. If definitely you must have gone through some DevOps fundamentals and your interpersonal projects and all. So if they're asking you whether in your project, if you're using DevOps, how you handle merge conflict means, if you say all these pointers, then it means your DevOps is not properly implemented. That's what it means. If you're implementing DevOps means, then you should never talk about all these things. You should simply say like, we have a very proper DevOps strategy through which we never experience any conflict, because as per our process, before we merge anything, we do a detailed review, and upon thorough review and approval only, we just merge into target branch. This should be the DevOps solution. Understood? Any question? No? Guys?
No.
Nope.
All right. So if you don't have any question, then I'll stop with this for now. In the next session, we'll see a few more concepts related to your branches. A lot of things are there, not just few. We'll cover all those things one by one. If you have any question, please let me know now. Yeah, I'll be updating all these things in your Git folder itself. Let me know if you guys have any question. Hope it's all understandable, right, for all? Like starting from the best practices of using your Git commit, revert, rebase, correct? Git ignore.
Yeah.
Branching techniques, branching strategies, and then how to create a branch, how to navigate from one branch to another branch, how to create new changes in the feature branch and merge to the target branch, and how we can able to, what is it called? Merge changes to target branch, and if merge conflict occurs, how we can able to fix the merge conflict. All clear?
Yes. Looks like I have a question regarding the dot git ignore. Can we implement that feature level?
You can do that. You can do that.
Okay.
It's possible. You can do that.
For that, we are following the same feature, right?
Yeah, you can do the same. No problem. There is nothing issue. But thing is that as per the best practice, I told you, the git ignore should be the very initial commit. Correct?
Yes,
So
right.
based upon that commit only, you can create a feature branch. Get your point?
Yes.
All right, guys. So any questions from anyone?
Hi, Lox. I have one doubt.
Yeah.
So, as per my knowledge, so whatever you deliver now is listed here. But I have one doubt is like, so whatever these branches is will handled by developers, right? As a DevOps engineer, they will create one artifact. We use that artifact and we use further tools and we will proceed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, am I correct?
Yeah, that's right. We never work on all these things are completely, done by the developers. Okay, it's all on the developer's perspective. But still, as a DevOps engineer, why we are learning this means going forward as a DevOps resource, we'll be writing some process automation scripts, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, if you want to do some sort of deployments using Jenkins or Docker or Ansible or Kubernetes, we write some configuration files and the script files. So in order to version control all your scripts, you need a repository, Git repository, right?
Understand. Yeah.
So you should know how to create a repository, how to manage the changes in the repositories, how to prepare branches and work on the branches independently. All those things you have to be very clear, right? On that perspective only, we are learning all these things.
Yeah,
Right?
Lox. Got it.
But
Got it.
we never involve in branching strategy. Like scenario 5 and all, we never go. It's all developers' role.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
It's clear.
Does that answer your
Thanks.
question or like?
Yeah, it's clear now. Thanks.
All right, guys. So I have updated the document here. I mean, you might be needing this thing also, right?
Also update the history.
Okay, let me put this also. So you guys have 2 more days time, right? Saturday, Sunday, and Monday also you have time. Monday till evening you have time. So what's the plan?
Working on branches.
Okay. So practice as much as possible. What are all things I'm sharing here? Please try to practice everything in next 2-3 days. And not only that, try to revise your previous modules like Linux completely. And if you find time, you can go through your Python module also. Got it? Python module I have given you, right? Just go through my class recordings along with the class notes and that sheet. Practice. Go through it. Try to understand. That is sufficient for now. But focus more on this Git module because based upon these topics only, our next topic will be. It will be a continuation. So before you come to next session, right? Before you join the next session, try to complete all these things. Practice all these things at least once. All right. And at least just before you log in 30 minutes or 40 minutes earlier, go through my class recordings or notes once and read the things related to branching because next topic also is based upon branching only. We have to cover a lot of things. So because 3 days is a huge time, right? We have a lot of distractions. You should not forget all these things. Okay. So please ensure that you are on track. All right.
Yes.
All good.
Sure.
All right, then if you don't have any question, we'll close this call. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Bye.
Poll is not there today.
That is what I'm also searching for a long time. I don't have access to that, I think. Let's see. You can do it in the next session. 1 second. I think he is available now. Okay, then. Yeah, no problem, guys. You can log off. Maybe in the next session, if they're expecting the poll, you can give it directly there.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. We'll connect tomorrow.